Okay, welcome to video number 2 on our real Jedi versus fictional Jedi. This one's going to be a little bit different because we are talking about light side versus dark side. Light side versus dark side is very much a fictional concept. Now in Star Wars, especially the original trilogy, it is very much a light versus dark universe, okay? It's good guys versus bad guys. It's very clear lines. We see this, it's very black and white, and we enjoy it. However, we know that the real world is a little bit more murky than that it's a little bit more confusing, and it's why we do have ethical decision making and things like the Jedi Method that really digs into real Jedi and how they approach life and kind of where our ethics fall in the real world. Now because of this, if you took real Jedi and you put them in the Star Wars universe, they would probably fall under that fan fictional term, gray Jedi. I cannot argue that. That is absolutely true. We would be considered gray Jedi in the Star Wars universe because we do have a broader experience and a broader view. Our lines are not so clear cut. Our universe isn't designed that way. However, we do not live in the Star Wars universe. So ideas of gray Jedi, dark Jedi, light Jedi, these are all silly constructs, just divisive glass wall terminology that really doesn't apply because we follow what some would call, quote unquote, light Jedi philosophies, light Jedi practices. This is what inspired us. This is what we aspire to be. This is how we live our lives. So we are Jedi, not gray, not light, not dark. We are just Jedi, trying to live the best we can and leave a positive and beneficial impact in the world around us. Now this also comes down to a light side and dark side of the Force. Now in Star Wars there's very much a light side of the Force and a dark side of the Force. Our world is not, we don't even have a clear-cut definition of the Force for our world, right? Many people view it in many different terms, such as the wonders and the greatness of language and of using many different experiences to relate to. And there's many different ideas and beliefs and philosophies and concepts out there that people equate the Force to within their lives, and that is okay. Now some people like to equate it to kind of a yin-yang, but again, that's a whole. And what you're talking about is that there's light aspects and there's dark aspects within the totality of everything. And that much, sure, I can get behind that, but that doesn't mean that there's a light side and a dark side. And it certainly doesn't mean that those are two opposing forces. They are a singular. There is a singular force out there in the universe. There is a singular force in our lives, and sure, that will have light elements and dark elements. Which brings us to our next point. As I said in a previous video, you do not want to develop a world opinion or a world view based solely upon media coverage, on what you read on the internet, things like that, right? Because you can turn on the news and you can see things that you can classify as dark acts. People committing horrendous acts of pain and suffering out of the most ignorant and just stupid reasoning possible. And then at the same time, we know that there's plenty of people out there in the world who are doing good things, that there's plenty of charities and there's plenty of people out there trying to make a positive difference, who are embracing the idea of love and empathy and kindness and just want to see people smile and laugh and share the beauty of the world. And this isn't a light versus dark. This is a contrast for sure. This is simply the world. This is simply nature. And it's not a Jedi versus Sith thing. Someone doing that stuff, we don't call them a Sith. We don't go out there and call Hitler a Sith. That's not the terminology. That's not the proper label. That's not what we're talking about. We are saying bad things happen, and we need to stand as a contrast to that. Now we grab the Jedi label because of the philosophy and lifestyle we live. Not because it's good, not because it's light, but because that is actually how we live our lives. To continue on, there is no light side versus dark side, okay? We don't have that kind of thing going on. I'm not battling Sith every day. I don't really care about Sith. To my awareness, there's not a Sith out there who cares about me. So it really doesn't matter. Like, there is no war going on. There is no fictional element like that. It is simply how we frame our world. There are acts of pain, suffering, ignorance, malice. There are those that we can classify as dark acts. And then there's acts of love, kindness, caring, empathy that we do or can label as light acts, and that's fine. I think we would much rather see more of these light acts than we do of these dark acts. So as you can see, this is another topic on real Jedi versus fictional Jedi. We do have another video coming. This one went longer, and so couldn't really touch on the other topic, which we'll get to it in our next video. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. You know where all the buttons are. May the Force be with you.